CELA presents.
How to read CELA audiobooks and magazines, transitioning from reading on CDs to other devices. Welcome to this webinar intended to give you an overview of how to read CELA's audiobooks. My name is Faylene Bobier. I'm the Training and Outreach Coordinator with CELA, and I'll be presenting the webinar. Before we begin, I'd like to read a brief land acknowledgement. I live and work in Toronto, which is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. Wherever we find ourselves today across Turtle Island, we can be grateful to the First Nations for their careful stewardship of the land. So in terms of the learning goals or agenda for this webinar, I'm going to talk about what CELA is, what are the different player options that you can choose from, and then go through some tips to help you choose which one would work best for you. I'll then describe the additional support we're providing while you transition from using CDs to another option. First of all, what is CELA? People with print disabilities require books in accessible format. CELA, or the Center for Equitable Library Access, is a comprehensive accessible library service providing over 1.4 million books, magazines, and newspapers to people with print disabilities living in Canada. CELA is a national not-for-profit organization that provides accessible reading services to the approximately 3 million people across Canada with print disabilities. Our services ensure that people with print disabilities across the country are more able to fully participate in learning, work, and community life, and to contribute to the social, cultural, and economic development and success of their local and broader communities. CELA's mission is to support public libraries in the provision of accessible library collections and to champion the fundamental right of Canadians with print disabilities to access media and reading materials in the format of their choice. We'll break this down for you. About CELA's audiobooks. CELA's collection is mostly Canadian titles, a wide collection of favorite authors in a variety of topics in English and French, audio magazines, professional recordings, including celebrity and author narrators. CELA gets our audiobooks from commercial audio producers and other libraries like ours from around the world. What does DAISY mean? DAISY stands for Digital Accessible Information System. DAISY equalizes print reading and audio reading by giving advanced navigation features. By using the buttons on your player or on the EasyReader app, you can navigate to specific parts of a book, such as by chapters or paragraphs. Now I'm going to describe the most popular audiobook player options that will play CELA's books and magazines. Alternatives to CDs. We know that many of you enjoy receiving your books on CDs that arrive at your home or that you get from your public library. While this format works well for many users, the fact is that CDs are an older technology, which is being replaced by other ways to read books. We've known that CDs would start to get more expensive for us to produce. So about 2 years ago, we introduced a new player called the Envoy Connect. We have also recently launched an Alexa smart speaker device where all you need to do is speak to it and it will play the book you want. I'll describe this in more detail later on. We are committed to supporting you as you find new ways to read. We will stop circulating CDs on July 31st, 2025. We will, however, continue adding to our audiobook collection as well as our other formats, including e-text or electronic text, Braille, and print Braille. What does direct to player mean? Because this is the format that you'll be wanting to use from now on. So basically, when you're searching for a title on the CELA catalog and you find the title you want, you're asked to choose the format that you would like from a drop-down menu. So what you're going to be choosing from now on is DAISY Audio direct-to-player format. Once you place a hold on the direct-to-player format of a title, the title will appear on your CELA account on your direct-to-player bookshelf. So if you go to the My Account in your CELA account, you'll find the direct-to-player bookshelf. The first device that I'm going to be talking about is the Envoy Connect. So the new Envoy Connect device is another way for you to access CELA books. Envoy Connect is an easy-to-use, portable, and affordable option for reading accessible audiobooks. It can be reloaded by downloading books or magazines directly from the patron's CELA direct-to-player bookshelf with our software called CELA Connect. Or you can mail your Envoy Connect device to CELA post-free to be loaded with new titles. Many public libraries are also loaning out Envoy Connect devices and loading books for people with print disabilities. This option is becoming more popular with libraries who are seeking newer and less expensive ways to offer reading devices. You can purchase the Envoy Connect from CNIB Smart Life for $97. So now I'm going to show you a video of our staff person, Ioana Gandrabur, who's going to demonstrate Envoy Connect as well as our free CELA Connect software.
So as you can see, here is the Envoy Connect player. It is quite small, it's about the size of a deck of cards. So it is very simple to put it in an envelope and send it by mail for free to CELA so that it can be reloaded and sent back to you. I will focus on the accessibility specific features of this player. First of all buttons are very clearly labeled and I can identify them by touch. Then I will first play you some content so you can see the quality of the speaker, which I think is quite good given its size. And let's hear.
Last updated March 2023. What's in the box? Included in the box are the Envoy Connect player.
So this is actually the user guide that is preloaded on every player. So a user can receive it and right away learn how to use it simply by turning the player on. A next feature that I want to show you is I'm able, without seeing the LED button, to check the battery status. So if I press and hold the rewind button, we hear 3 beeps, so I know that the battery is fully charged. The last feature I want to show you is the solar panel. So on the back, we have a solar panel that allows me to go off grid and go camping and still be able to charge my player and listen to my favorite books. Let's move on now to the other method of adding and removing books on the Envoy Connect, which is the free app called CELA Connect.
We are now on the opening screen of the CELA Connect software. I will press enter to connect to the library.
Enter. Status read only edit. CELA Connect Envoy Connect.
Enter again.
Enter. Status read only edit.
By the way, I'm using the JAWS screen reader that tells me everything that is on my PC screen. After this connection with CELA library has been established, we will have a list of books that are currently loaded on the player that we can choose to remove. And then we will move on to the next step, which will be downloading a book from the CELA bookshelf.
CELA Connect select titles to remove. This is the list of titles on your Envoy Connect.
Now I can tab over to the list of books.
List view. Not selected Chiaudia.
I
Daisy.
have only one book, which I will press spacebar
Space.
and
Check.
select and press enter.
Enter. Status read only edit. Please.
We're at the next stage where we can choose a book to download. I will tab like
List
previously
view. Not selected Leviathan Wakes. Book
and
1 of a suitable boy.
choose,
Wool
let's
omnibus silo
say,
wolf. Indian in the cabinet.
Indian
Speaking
in the
truth.
cabinet. I will press
Space.
spacebar
Check.
and enter. Now we get a confirmation dialog where we are asked to confirm whether we want to remove a book and download one book. Pressing enter again.
Enter. Status read only edit. Please wait checking your bookshelf.
After the book is downloaded, we will have a confirmation dialog telling us that it is safe to unplug the player. So now we have the confirmation message.
Message edit read only. Your content has been updated. You can now unplug the player.
I will press enter.
Enter.
And we are back where we started.
So as you can see here,
So the next device that we're going to look at are DAISY players. Many of you may have a Humanware Victor Stratus or Victor Stream player that you might own, or maybe you borrow one from your public library. It has a CD slot that can be used to play music CDs or other audiobook CDs that you can borrow from your public library. The Stratus player has large buttons and was designed for blind and low vision users because of its durable and accessible features. The Victor Stream is a smaller, more portable, handheld player. Both models will play DAISY audio and can be configured to connect to a local Wi-Fi connection so that books are loaded straight onto your player from your direct-to-player bookshelf. If you have a stable internet connection through Wi-Fi, then the direct-to-player service is a good option. You can also load a book or magazine zip file by connecting the player to a computer or using an SD card. These players are sold through CNIB SmartLife or through the manufacturer, Humanware, for $655 for the Stratus and $595 for the Stream. Configuring your Stratus or Stream DAISY player. So those of you who have a Humanware Stratus player or Stream and an internet connection at home may prefer to configure your player so your books and magazines are loaded straight onto it. You will need to contact us to help you configure your player, and you will need to know your SSID name and Wi-Fi password. This is a one-time step. Afterwards, you can enjoy your books at home. Just think, no trips to the mailbox to pick up or return any books. So if you do have a Victor Stratus or Victor Stream, and you would like to have it configured so that books can be transferred directly from your direct-to-player bookshelf in your CELA account to your player, all you need to do is get in touch with CELA's contact center, and they can help you set this up. The contact center telephone number is 1-855-655-2273, or you can email us at help@celalibrary.ca. The next reading device we're going to look at is the Dolphin EasyReader app or application. You or a family member or a friend may own a handheld device such as a tablet or smartphone, which is like a mini computer all in one. The common types are iPads, iPhones, or Android devices. To play CELA books on one of these, you need to download an app or an application that can read DAISY book files. The app that works with our direct-to-player service is called EasyReader and is available for Apple and Android devices, as well as on desktops or laptops. The app is free, and you can search our catalog on the app and add books and magazines to the bookshelf. If you select books by logging in to the CELA website, we recommend selecting the direct-to-player format for audio or text, since this simply loads the book straight onto the app. If you'd like to have more options, such as syncing books across all your devices with the app, you can pay for the premium edition, which costs $49.99 Canadian per year. You can also access our books and magazines as zip files for DAISY audio, several e-text formats, and electronic braille files. It also lets you read our books on many different apps, including VoiceStream app, Google Read and Write, plus many more. So we're now going to listen to the CELA staff person, and Juana again, demonstrate for us the EasyReader app. She is using VoiceOver, so you will hear that during this video.
I will now use VoiceOver, which is the screen reader for all iOS devices, and open the EasyReader
Braille
app.
screen input. EAS. EasyReader. Opening EasyReader. Portrait. EasyReader. Loading. Ellipsis.
Here I will open the side menu to show you how we can access the CELA library directly from this app.
Side menu. CELA library. Waiting for ellipsis. CELA library.
Here we have two options. We can either search or browse for a book that we can add to our bookshelf, or I can go to the bookshelf where I have already added books, either through this app or through the web interface.
Direct-to-player bookshelf. Show results in direct-to-player bookshelf.
This app can open either DAISY audio or DAISY text. And DAISY just means that this is the specialized format with enhanced navigation possibilities that I will show you in a minute. I will look for the book Denison Avenue that is already on my bookshelf.
Denison Avenue, Christina Wong, DAISY. Denison Avenue, open, button.
I have already downloaded this book, so it shows me that I can open it.
Gongong 1, Gongong and Popo.
So it remembered my previous position. I will now demonstrate the navigation possibilities.
Play. Pre-book navigation, button. Selected, headings, button. 1, level 1, 2%.
So it tells me that I'm on the first heading, and it is at level 1. Incidentally, all headings are at level 1 on this book.
Preface, level 1, 2%.
I will click on Preface.
Preface, vertical scroll, a novel, text settings.
As you can see here, we can change the text size, the foreground color, background color, margins, line spacing, and much more. Let's return.
Vertical scroll bar, 5 pages, 50.
I will now demonstrate reading with the help of the TTS, text-to-speech.
Play.
Preface. Our story primarily takes place in Toronto's Chinatown Kensington Market.
You can also change the speed and the quality of the voice in the audio settings of the app. So this gives you an overview of the EasyReader functionality for improved accessibility. I will now use...
It's also possible, particularly if you don't have internet access at your home, you or a friend or a family member could also load books onto an external storage device, like a USB stick or an SD card, and add books from your CELA account onto your DAISY player or Envoy Connect that way. So to review the player options, if you do have internet access at home, with the Envoy Connect, how do you get books and magazines? On a computer, using the CELA Connect software, the cost of the Envoy Connect device, again, is $97. If you're using the EasyReader app on a tablet, a smartphone, or a computer, you can use the search feature on the app or choose DAISY Audio, direct to player, if you're searching for books while logged into the CELA website. EasyReader is a free app, but obviously there would be a cost for the device you're using, whether it's a tablet, smartphone, or a computer. If you're using a DAISY player, like a Victor Stratus or a Victor Stream, you can have your player configured to connect to your CELA direct-to-player bookshelf in your CELA account. The configuration is free and can be done by contacting CELA's contact center. If you don't have internet access, what are your options? With an Envoy Connect device, you can mail the device post-free to CELA. We'll load it with books and send it back to you post-free. You might also consider asking your public library if they're able to help. Some libraries actually lend out Envoy Connect devices and will preload the device with books for the library patron. If you have a DAISY player but you do not have internet access, you can go to your public library. Many public libraries will have deposit collections of DAISY of CELA books on CD that they have received prior to July 31st. And most public libraries will also have their own audiobook collection of commercial audiobooks on CD that you can also play on a DAISY player. If you have an EasyReader app on your phone or device, but you don't have internet access, all you need to do is bring your tablet or your smartphone to a location with Wi-Fi. You can download books onto the app there and then take the device away. You won't need access to the internet to simply listen to the books that you have downloaded onto the app. There are other reading devices that people can use to read CELA books. For example, CELA eText or electronic text books in the EPUB file format will work in the following devices: Google Read and Write, Kindle, Kobo. However, it's important to note that CELA's books do not work in the Libby app, which is an app that's available through many public libraries. We're very excited to tell you about another way to choose and read books from CELA. By speaking aloud, you will be able to ask a device called an Amazon Alexa smart speaker to play your books. This new technology might sound familiar to you if you've used Siri on your iPhone or if you have a smart speaker at home, just ask the smart speaker to perform a function and it will do it. Apps through smart speakers are called skills, and CELA's is called the Accessible Reading Canada skill. So I'm now going to play an audio demo of our staff member, Iwana, opening the app, using the menu options such as resuming a book and going through the player options.
Start Accessible Reading Canada.
Would you like to resume your most recent book in progress, access your books, or browse the library?
Resume.
Coming Together as Things Fall Apart by Astra Taylor. Narrated by Rebecca Mitchell.
Next.
Meanwhile, in the U.S.,
Next.
Chapter 2. Barons or Commoners?
Previous.
Meanwhile, in the U.S.,
Volume up.
opined, for a long time now, people...
Stop. Start Accessible Reading Canada and Bookshelf.
You have 4 books on your bookshelf. First book, The Divine Comedy, by Dante Alighieri. Would you like to start reading or skip to the next book?
Help.
Your bookshelf is a list of books that you have chosen from our website or that have been selected for you based on your preferences. You can find them on the CELA website by selecting the direct player option for any audiobook. To navigate between the books on your bookshelf, say Previous or Next. To return to the main menu, say Main Menu.
Stop.
Got it. Goodbye.
We can help. So we can provide further support to you through our contact center. Please call us to make changes to your account information, to get help with ordering books, and also for help with the apps and devices that play our books. To help you during the transition from CDs to another device, we are also offering weekly support sessions, weekly Q&As that you can call into or join online through Zoom. The last item to mention is our monthly newsletter called Open Book that provides news regarding new titles we've added, any service announcements, and the upcoming webinars for that month. We encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already. If you do have a question about your service, the CELA Contact Center staff can answer your questions about changing your library profile, requesting a new service, etc. Thanks for participating in today's webinar, and we hope that you have gotten the information that you need to help you transition from CDs to another device.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and never miss a video.